What is going on, Gemini? It's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct again for your general reading for December 15th through the 30th, or mid-month to the end of December. And this is going to be a general reading, so it may not resonate with everybody. If it does resonate with you, though, then do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment, just to let me know that the reading is resonating with you, or it's a match for your energy. If it doesn't resonate with you, then maybe you want to go check out one of my previous readings that I have did for Gemini already, or you can tune in for my next Gemini reading, which will be next year in 2019. What's up, Gemini? Dang, it's already the end of the year. That quick. It is the end of 2018. So let's see how you guys are going to be closing it out. Also, I want to let you know I am opening up personal readings for everybody, all zodiac signs. So if you want to check me out for a more personal experience, just to gain a little more clarity, then you can email me. The link will be in the description of this video. Alright, let's go into it. So this is going to be your present energies, Gemini, like we always do it. And then we will get into your future energies after we cover the present. Also, I am going to be clarifying with the Gustav Klimt deck, and I believe that's how I pronounce it, how you pronounce it, the Gustav Klimt. Yeah, but it's some great artwork that comes along with these cards. They're kind of like the Renaissance Victorian period, so I kind of like the contrast between them and the Rider-Waite Tarot. So let's get into it. Gemini, starting off, crowning your reading, you do have the Four of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles is representing somebody that could be holding on tightly when it comes down to finances. It could, represent sometimes a lack or scarcity mindset when it comes down to finances, and kind of, holding on tightly to every single little small coin or penny you have, because you fear that you will lose it all if you splurge or spend or live comfortably. So that's kind of like that energy of you holding back a little bit and gripping everything tightly. But it is clarified with the Death card, so I believe there is a transformation that's happening with you when it comes down to the way you view finances. Just because this card usually represents that, lack mentality or the scarcity mentality, you could be having a transformation when it comes down to the way you view money, the way you give money, or even if it doesn't have to do with money, it could just be the way you give of yourself or give of your energy. You could have maybe in the past been holding on a little bit more tightly to that energy, or holding back a little bit, or not wanting to give because you thought you wouldn't receive in the way that you gave. So there's some type of transformation that's happening with you when it comes down to giving and receiving. Or just that, mentality of the way that you view money, and the way you view how currency, is gained and how it comes into your life. Material wealth, the way you look at your material wealth and the way you bring that into your life is kind of probably changing at this time. You're having a transformation with your finances. And so you may start to see a lot more finances come your way. You may start to develop different streams of incomes, just to kind of like start attracting more money, or just start doing little things that attract more money into your life, little rituals, or the law of manifestation, the law of attraction, just to start having a better outlook and view of finances in general. So right below that, we have the Strength card. Strength card right here could be representing you taking on or tapping into your inner strength. Strength card usually represents like that inner personal power that you have, and you needing to use it at this time. You needing to tap into that, or dig deep into your personal power that you have within the depths of you. This also can represent you being a powerful person, but not many people maybe knowing about it. It's kind of like you hide it well. You're graceful with the way you carry your power. It's kind of like an invisible power that you have, so it kind of sneaks up on people. This could be the way that you're coming off in, towards the end of December. Like people can kind of see your power, but they don't know where it comes from. As you can see in the picture, like it's this lady that's taming a wild lion. Like, that's almost impossible to do in life. So she has to have some type of power that she possesses that can overpower the power of a lion. And that's kind of like what you're doing. You know, you could be taming wild beasts at the workplace or in your home or in your relationship, or, you know, just out in your life in general. You could just be possessing a personal power that's overshadowing the power of others, and it's kind of catching people off guard because they're like, how are you doing this? How are you able, you know, to settle everybody down and quiet a room, and kind of like you have this inner strength, this invisible strength that you're carrying during this time, you know, and it's kind of like affecting your life in general. This also could represent you having just to tame yourself, taming a part of yourself that needs to just be put on the back burner right now because you're dealing with other things. So some of you guys could be just taming your inner beast a little bit, just to kind of like stay in a place of discipline and self-control. Definitely. Moving right along, we have the 10 of Cups. So that inner strength that you have could, you know, be relating to your personal fulfillment in life. And you kind of like tapping into your inner strength because you're headed towards a place of being fulfilled totally. The 10 of Cups represents total completion of fulfillment, you know, or you having the things that you believe will fulfill you completely when it comes down to the external world and internally, you know. So with this strength card being about your inner strength, maybe you could be finding fulfillment within yourself during this time, and you're starting to see that it doesn't take the external things in the world to fulfill you. It doesn't take like you having $1 million or you having a perfect relationship or the perfect home to live in or driving a Ferrari or, you know, a BMW. It doesn't take all those things, because, you know, you can tap in within yourself into your self-love, you know, your inner world to fulfill yourself. And that's what I'm kind of feeling with this being next to that strength card. You're starting to see how you can be fulfilled internally, which then will attract those external things into your life that you dream of, that you envision for yourself. And that has to do a lot with this this Four of Pentacles too, with finances, because the lack mentality a lot of times that we carry has to do with us not knowing our personal worth, you know, not knowing the wealth that we have internally. And a lot of times because we don't value ourselves, then we don't attract finances. Because we don't value what we have already, we don't attract anything else. And that's kind of the energy that the Four of Pentacles has. Somebody that doesn't, you know, believe that what he has already is enough. So everything that he gets other than that is kind of like, oh snap, let me hold on to this. Oh, I got $10 more. Let me make sure I can save that as much as possible. And so, you know, I believe it's a transformation that's happening with the way you put your energy out, the way new energy is going to start flowing in, because you're having like a releasing of sorts when it comes down to the flow of energy within yourself, you know. And that's going to have a lot to do with your personal self-worth, the way you view yourself, your self-image, you know, and then the way you view your finances. Definitely. But you're headed to a place of having that 10 of Cups energy, and that's just that happy life, like that life that gives you enjoyment, fulfillment, like you have fun, you have everybody around you that you want to be around you, you know. It's just kind of like that happy life. And so that's coming in, I believe, during this transformation that's taking place around your finances, around your personal power, the way you view yourself and your self-worth. And the outcome of it is going to be that 10 of Cups that you dream about, you know. It's coming towards you, definitely coming into the new year of 2019. Right next to that, we have the 10 of Swords. So maybe this could have something to do with the reason. Let me move this down. With the reason why you know, feel the need to hold back a little bit. The 10 of Swords could have been like something that happened in the past, something that you know, you went through, that maybe it could have been a betrayal, you being stabbed in the back by somebody, or you know, not having what you wanted out of life, not getting what you fought for, and you kind of like losing a battle, losing, a war or something like that you had going on internally or externally. And I believe that's what could have you on guard, because the Seven of Wands right here represents you being on guard, you being ready for battle, you kind of like being on the defense. And so maybe you were on the defense maybe about your finances because some loss that you had in the past. Maybe you went through a time where it was very hard for you financially, and you had to go through a lot of struggles, and maybe you were living in poverty, and now that you're getting a little bit more, it's kind of like you hold on tightly because you're like, oh snap, I have a little bit more than I used to have when I was feeling like this. So now you could kind of be on guard, and kind of like on defense, like, okay, I got to make sure I hold on to this money. I have to make sure I hold on to this position, to this new job, to this new level of finances that I've risen to. And I believe that's what's kind of transforming, because you're going to be able to start gaining even more and more finances and abundance and wealth once you start to let go of that energy from the past and stop being so much on defense and on guard, maybe surrounding your finances or the way you give or the way you allow currency to flow through your hands. It has to be a flow of currency. It can't be something that you clench and hold on tightly, because it'll mess up the flow. So I believe you're Hey, Gemini, sorry about that. I had a call that came through, so it messed up the video for a second. But where were we? All right, so we were talking about how the flow of currency works, and how you're kind of going to start to be able to see an opening up happen around the way that currency is going to flow, that energy that flows from out of you, and how you view money, and just releasing it a little bit, not holding on so tight, or stop, not being on defense about it so much, about your finances. So definitely you're seeing a transformation in that area. Right below that we have the Star card. So the Star card is just representing you having an ending and a new beginning when it comes down to a certain cycle you were in. That also makes sense because we had the Ten of Swords up here, so that definitely represents that completion. So you having a completion when it comes down to this whole era that we're talking about the way you give and the way you receive and the way you view money, the way you view yourself. You're having definitely a transformation with that transformation card up there too, the Death card. The Star card is that other side of that transformation too, where you're starting to attract things into your life in a whole nother way. You're starting to see your gifts, your talents, they're starting to emerge, and you're able to give a little bit. If you can see the Star card, she's pouring, water out, receiving water in, pouring it out, just kind of like watering her inner self, watering your well of energy that you have that attracts everything into your life. And that's what's going to be able to attract this Ten of Cups into your life. And you can see the major contrast of it, going from this Ten of Swords energy into the Ten of Cups energy. And that's kind of like what this transformation is happening around you, and within you is getting you to that point to where you're kind of like shining. You're the star in your life. You have that self-worth, that self-value. You're attracting your finances. You're not holding on tightly. You're able to give and receive freely, because you've overcome some things that happened maybe in the past. And you've learned through all those different lessons that happened in the past. So instead of you being so much on defense, you kind of like, instead of you holding back so much and clenching, I believe now you're going to start to be able to release a little bit and feel that inner release, so where it's like, okay, I can allow things to flow freely. I can rest, in the power of the universe, knowing that everything is going to be taken care of, and just knowing that how the law of attraction works, because with the law of attraction, you don't have to like pinch and hold on to every single little penny and calculate and focus on everything that comes in and make sure you count everything that goes out one by one. I mean, definitely that is a great way to view your finances, but if you're on it too much, if you do that too much, it's kind of like you mess up the flow of new finances being able to come in, because you're watching over it too much instead of letting your finances grow. It's kind of like when you plant a seed or something like that in the ground. If you stay there and just watch the seed every single minute and hour of the day, every day, it pretty much will almost never grow to you, because the whole process of growth happens when nobody is looking. When it comes down to our money, when it comes down to our inner world, when it comes down to our self-development, all of those things, they grow when you're not looking. They grow in the shadows. They grow in the darkness. And then when they emerge, that's when everybody is able to see the growth. A caterpillar, the same thing. The caterpillar grows inside of the cocoon. And the whole process is going on inside of the cocoon that nobody from the outside can see. The only thing you can see is when that caterpillar becomes a butterfly. And that's what's happening to you. It's kind of like you're starting to transform into that butterfly. And you're starting to see that the things that you can't control and that you have to release. Because this is the person that, is trying to control everything because they're afraid that something will go wrong. But the contrast of that is the person here in the star card that kind of releases it and allows everything to come together organically and to grow organically, and not trying to force it to grow, or force yourself to be wealthy. Is like you're allowing your wealth to come in organically. You're doing the work, definitely, like it usually takes. You're putting in that work and that focus and energy into your endeavors, but you're not trying to control it as much. And because of that, that's when you're going to see that growth, where you're going to see those 10 of cups be filled. Definitely. So I like that energy. Let's keep it moving. For your future cards, we have the Moon card, the Sun card, the Five of Pentacles, and then the Justice card. So this all kind of makes sense. With the Moon card here, the Moon card can represent you just not being as clear when it comes down to things that's happening in your life, not seeing things as clearly. Is kind of, this card can kind of represent, you being in the dark a little bit, or deception. It can represent that too. But I just believe it's just a point of view that you could have had. And since we're talking about your finances so much, it could have been the point of view you were taking on with your finances, where you felt like kind of in the dark about certain things that can attract more finances into your life. You could have just felt in the dark about this whole law of attraction and that mentality, like lack mentality, and not knowing what works for you with your finances, what can bring in more finances. Right up under that, though, we have the Sun energy. So this is just that contrast that's happening, that transformation that's taking place surrounding your finances, surrounding your self-worth. A lot of things just happening where the light is just starting to shine. You're going to start becoming more aware when it comes down to your finances, and aware when it comes down to your self-worth, and you attracting those things in your life that you want, those things that will fulfill you. And this could represent love, finances, friendship, relationships, everything. It's kind of like the sun is shining on every area of your life, and you're going to start to see that growth that you've been looking for, and you're going to see the ways that you have been kind of stunning your growth in certain areas of your life, and being able to open up to your power and know that you don't have to kind of control everything. You can release some things and allow it to grow organically. And that's what happens when things grow organically, is because the sun is shining, and nobody can control how much sunshine they get to their crops and what they planted. But as you can see in this picture, the sun is there and the flowers are blooming. So this could be a point that you're coming into in your life where you're starting to see everything you planted is starting to grow and bloom, and you're starting to release the control of it so much, because the sun card represents that carefree energy too. If you could see this child that's sitting on that horse, they're just open and carefree, and it's kind of like that lightness to it. And it's the total opposite of that energy, where he has his coins clenched. It's close to his heart, close to his chest. He's feeling protective. That Seven of Wands energy represents being on the defense and ready to fight and extra protective. But the Sun energy is kind of like, no, release all of that. Like, let it go. Let things flow naturally. Let them grow organically. So I believe that's the lesson that's kind of being learned towards the end of December for you, Gemini. Right below that, we have the Five of Pentacles. So you could have been feeling left out in the cold. This could have had to do with an air sign, another air sign that you could have been dealing with, where they could have left you feeling like you were left out in the cold. Or, like I was saying, your finances, you could have felt like you were going through some hard times or hardships with your finances, but now it's a transformation that's happening around that, especially with this Justice card being right under that. It's kind of like the universe is bringing balance into your finances, and it's because of everything that we talked about. You learning those lessons surrounding your finances and the way you attract wealth into your life and balance of that wealth into your life is the thing that's going to be bringing that justice and that clarity, that balance. And so I believe you're leaving that place of feeling like you're left out in the cold, or that place of lack, to come into a place of abundance and good fortune. So definitely, Gemini, I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. I'm not trying to make these readings too long, only because I have so much other readings to do. So I want to say happy holidays and happy new year to you guys going into 2019. I hope this is a great year for you. I believe these cards show like definitely you're going to be embarking on some new things coming into 2019 surrounding your finances. Going to have some growth that's happening around your finances, Gemini. Some fulfillment that's coming in. Emotionally, you're going to be shining also. So I'm liking all the cards. Definitely, if it resonated with you guys, once again, then like, share, subscribe, comment. Definitely, I want to apologize for the little break that I had in between your video. I can't stop people from calling sometimes. So thanks for that. And I'm going to end the video right there. I'll see you guys next year.